whatever the Garrus, they don't care what happened to Garrus and Tally if they went and made sweet looking babies or
Right.
whatever, like that was just dumb. Oh, let's get off of Mass Effect. Such a 6-year-old topic or 6-month-year-old topic. All right. Well, actually, no. We could stay on it. It could be. Let's go to something happy. Let's give our awards for video games. All right. Game of the Year will be our last one, so don't go to that. Let's start off with like oh fuck, I don't know. Well, let's start off with bad awards. Let's start off with what was our biggest disappointment of
The biggest disappointment of 2012. Trying to think of everything I bought in
got mine.
2012.
I'll give mine while you're thinking. All right. My biggest disappointment was Star Wars: The Old Republic. That game flopped. Like it was breaking records and then just it fell to the fucking ground. Like that was the biggest disappointment. It had so much hype. That game was like supposed to. I don't know. It had so much hype behind it, and I got so caught up in the hype that it let me down. And I say this. I feel like I must say this in every freaking podcast that game let me down. But I will never get over that. That I was so pumped, and I loved certain aspects of it, but the other aspects they absolutely failed at, and they continue to make the game worse. Still to this day. You got yours?
Trying to find. I'm trying to get like a list of them. I just don't remember what all came out in 2012. Like it's been like such a long year.
It's been such a long year.
Well,
Mass Effect.
game release dates.
Well, there's a lot of bad. Diablo 3 came out this year. I don't know, dude. A lot of games came out.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Look at your video game stash. Go like that.
I don't know what's all like, but like not like a lot of it's not 2012.
So.
Probably my biggest upset that I can remember that's out. That I can even see this out is it's got to be Assassin's Creed 3.
Wait, your biggest wait. That was your biggest disappointment?
Yes, my biggest disappointment from 2012 that I owned or played had to be Assassin's Creed 3. Because it pissed me off. I finally finished the game, and it pissed me off. Like everything about it just pissed me off. I mean, it reminded me of a fucking Mass Effect ending of everything that we've been through, and then they just do that to you. And you're just like, are you kidding me? Like, after all of that, that's it? That's all I get?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true. We did cover that. Like, we were both really disappointed on that ending.
I mean, and that's like, I didn't play. I mean, not a lot of games that I played came out in 2012, but I mean, from what I knew, the game itself. I loved the game itself. It's just the ending pissed me off.
That's true. It was a good game. I wouldn't have. It wasn't anywhere near my disappointment. I wouldn't say. I was disappointed with the ending, but overall, I don't regret. Like Star Wars, I regret buying that game. That's why I say that one. You know what I mean? I regret spending my money on that video game.
All right. Well, maybe not a disappointing game. Maybe just the most disappointing ending in 2012.
Yeah.
Game-wise, I don't remember what all came out that came out in 2012 that I played. Like, I really don't have like a disappointing game that I came out in.
It was a good year. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like there wasn't a whole lot of games that were extremely hyped, that were extremely bad. You know what I mean? I guess.
Yeah.
Dead Island was like overhyped and it was really not that great. That was like last year. There's been games like that. Oh, there's a lot of Kinect games that came out that are just. Well, I think Kinect games are always gonna be disappointing. Actually, one of the people say, yeah, Doom 3. Yeah, I didn't actually play that because I had so many bad things about it. That was just bad. I heard.
Yeah.
I heard the only reason people bought Doom 3 was to get like the first two on the. You know what I mean? Because it came on the disc. Yeah. All right. Let's go to categories. Best shooter.
Best shooter? I mean,
First person shooter.
obviously,
First person.
obviously Halo.
Halo? What's your reasoning?
Because it's Halo. Halo's
Because
always
it's
been.
Halo.
I
That
mean,
can't be your only
Halo's.
reason.
I know. But Halo's always been good in first shooter games. I mean, like especially like first shooting wise, because I don't like first player games. To be honest with you, when I play Far Cry, I'm not Far. Well, no, not Far Cry. When I play Skyrim, I play Skyrim in third person.
Really?
I play
I
Skyrim in
used
third
to.
person.
I don't in this one.
It
'Cause
gives me a headache. I
dual
when playing
wielding.
first person, it just I don't know, but it gives me a headache. I definitely say first person shooter was Halo because I don't play Call of Duty. I have Call of Duty 3. I had Battlefield 3. I didn't play them. I'm not like a war kind of game like that. I just don't do them. So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Halo was the best first person shooter for me.
Yeah, I can agree. Halo was definitely one of my favorite first-person shooters that came out. But my favorite is Far Cry 3. Like that, I consider that a shooter over RPG, just because
Yeah.
it has more shooter aspects than it ever would RPG aspects. It does have both, but things that is more of a first-person shooter than it is RPG to me. So that's why I give it to that because but it also did it well. Like it did shooting well. You know what I mean? Like it makes going around and hunting those damn pirates and everything like that, hunting the animals, fun. You know what I mean? Really fun. Without having to be like a big multiplayer. There is a multiplayer side of it where you do kill each other and shit like that, but with that aspect even out of mind, I thought it was better than some of the stuff because it was different, Like
Right.
they handled that RPG first-person shooter mesh extremely well. And I liked that. I was happy with that, and it surprised me a lot more than I thought, which is probably why it gets my award for this, because it surprised me so much. Like Halo 4, I expected that to be good. Like if that would have been bad, I would have been disappointed. And it didn't blow my mind away. Like it didn't add any new features to any Halo. Halo is still Halo. Like they didn't change Halo really. They added
Right.
some new guns and whatever. They didn't really, like, when you get to the core of the game, they didn't really mess with it or add anything innovative to the shooter genre. Where Far Cry 3, I feel like future shooters should totally look at that. Like they need to look at Far Cry 3 now, and they're gonna have to. Like Halo needs to look at Far Cry 3 and realize we gotta add some customization, like real customization to this. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you can customize the way your dude looks. Every game has that now. You know what I mean? That's something that should come standard. Far Cry 3 didn't have that. Little disappointing, other than the tattoo, but that was a talent tree. Whatever.
That was cool. I don't know. I thought that was cool though.
Oh, I did think it was cool.
Doing
I was
that
just
way,
saying it's not the
definitely.
same thing as customization. I
Yeah.
mean, I was a little bit disappointed, but Far Cry 3, they wanted to keep you inside that first person the whole time. They didn't really care what you weren't supposed to care what you looked like on the outside, because the game was supposed to be like the mind. You know what I mean? You were supposed to get into the story of this game and see how this guy went fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah.
that was good. I like that. That's why I like, and I think, what was Spec Ops: The Line? Did really well with like showing some really fucked up story. Like those two games, shooters
Played
need to
that
look
game?
at story looking. Like Call of Duty and Call of Duty did all right, but whatever. And Halo really need to look at the story of those and take it into effect. I don't want them to copy it, but I want them to get ideas from it, because they gotta
Yeah.
change it up. Like they're big genre franchises, that have been steady, but other ones are totally gonna take their place if they don't step up their game. You know what I mean? They're good, but there's other ones that are learning and doing new things that are definitely we're talking about them more. So
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
let's go RPG. I know what mine is right away. It's Mass
Best
Effect.
RPG.
Yeah,
Mass
mine's
Effect will definitely be it.
I don't want to
Mass
talk
Effect,
on it anymore.
yeah.
We've had like an hour rant on it, but Mass Effect.
Yeah, Mass Effect definitely. Yeah, that definitely takes the place of everything.
Yeah. Well, no game got me as touched up about characters. I've never been close to tears in any video game except Mass Effect 3. Like, not Mass Effect 1, not Mass Effect 2. None of my characters died in Mass Effect 2, which is probably why I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? I never got close to tears because I kept everybody alive. Mass Effect 1, it was like, holy fuck, one of my dudes. I mean, I was devastated, but I really wasn't connected to the guy I had to choose to die anyways.
Kaden.
Mass Effect 3 was just like, when characters died, I was ready to bawl. I was like, no, this guy just sacrificed himself in this heroic act, and he's so badass, and like, it was it was that playthrough through that game was emotional, and I loved it. It just got you into that game so much. That's what an RPG, really a story-based game, any kind of story-based game should do that. And an RPG, Mass Effect, did that well. Ending aside, great game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely it was one of the better games that came out lately. It came out in a long time.
Yep. Oh man, what are other genres? Oh, let's go to like computer games. I don't know how many computer games you got this year, but I got quite a bit.
No. Yeah.
Didn't get any?
No, I don't really play computer games much.
All right, well, I'll give mine. And I'm going to have to say, I'm going to see if I can look at all my icons. Minecraft was technically a 2011 game. I'd say indie game-wise. Well, I'll wait for that. Just overall computer game, I love Torchlight 2. Even though I just started playing that, like, it's just awesome. I didn't really get too many computer games this year. But I'm going to say computer-only game. You know what I mean? Not, you can't get it, so you can't consider, like, Mass Effect in this, because I think you can get that on the computer, too. Or, you can't consider, like, things that you can go back and forth, because I'm not... Torchlight 2, one of the only just computer games that I really enjoyed, and I'm still enjoying. Indie game-wise, FTL. FTL and... I've played a bunch of indie games this year. I just don't have any of them in mind right now. But if that's the only one I can extremely think of right to my mind, and I love because it's so replayable. I don't know if you've played too many indie games. Have you played some of the Xbox indie games? They've got some good ones on Xbox.
No, I really haven't got anything or loaded up at all. Yeah, not really. I mean, nothing 2012 at least. I don't really play a lot of indie games. I really don't go in and play them very often.
Yeah. What about Xbox Live games? Xbox Live Arcade, downloadable. I'm gonna say Minecraft because it kicked the shit. That came out in 2011 or 2012. Sorry, Minecraft for the Xbox, awesome.
That's the only one. Yeah, that's the one I think I ever really got to.
I've got a bunch of others, but that's the one that really I mean, I know it's just copying Minecraft on the computer, but whatever, it did it well. Copied well, bitch.
Definitely.
It sold better than it did than the computer did. The Xbox Live version sold more copies than the computer version did in 2012. Yeah,
I feel it's easier to use on the Xbox than the computer.
It is actually. Well, because on the computer you have to memorize all the
keys.
Yeah. Well, not the keys, the recipes. You have to memorize how to build a pickaxe. I know the pickaxe is simple, but all the other harder ones, you'd be like, oh, you can look them up. Yeah, but it's more of a pain in the ass. The Xbox Live one, you can just write it right there on the menu. You know what I mean? If you were looking for it, it's there.
And they're all straight there in a little file.
Some people like that. Some people like the whole discovery of the stuff, but that's not me. I don't like sitting there and having to find. I don't like sitting there and finding all the little Easter eggs in games. Like that's just I don't know. I don't find that fun. That's too much work. That's not my thing.
I agree.
It's other people's things. Not my thing. But yeah. Oh man, I know there's genres we're missing out here. Think of a genre, Jake. Think of a genre.
We did shooter. We've done RPG.
They really didn't do music games this year. I feel like music games are dead. Like Rock Band and shit like that, they're dead. Or they're not dead. You can't take them.
I mean, if you want to go sports, I guess, but the only sports game I played was NFL.
Yeah, I don't think that was. I haven't played too many other than I know that NBA came out and baseball. Yeah, I liked what Madden did, but I imagine if I would have played NBA 2K13, it probably would have been better because NBA 2K12 was just fucking amazing. I didn't get NBA 2K13 because NBA 2K12 was just fucking amazing. I didn't need another one. So that is the problem. Like Madden, you're always like, oh, this is an all right game, but the next one's gonna be better, and they make this little adjustment, and that's even though it's a shitty thing to do to your customers, it's genius. You know what I mean? It is people are getting
and they still haven't come back.
People are getting, even though actually their sales in total have gone down. since like they're good ones, since they were competitive with 2K or whatever. But people are gonna keep buying the next one because the next one's gonna be better. It's a shitty thing to do, but whatever. But with NBA 2K13 or in the NBA 2K series, no one it's hard to go and want to buy the next one because this one was so good. How are you going to improve on it? And they add some little things, but things that I weren't really interested in, and I didn't feel like it was worth another $60. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't that big innovation that was going to change the game. And it was such a good game already. Why fix it if it's not broken?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, another way we can go is maybe best video game series that like the one that came out 2012 now, like the best series so far up to 2012 we can do.
All right, but I mean I already know what I'm going to say for that.
I'm a toss-up between Mass Effect and Halo. Those are my toss-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably lean towards more Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the two biggest ones. I mean, Assassin's Creed definitely comes in maybe third or fourth, but
my problem with the Assassin's Creed series is I don't know, there's always something missing. I always feel like there's something missing when I'm playing that game. You know what
do you mean?
It's just I don't know, it's always the same thing over and over and over, and you could be like, "Oh, well, Mass Effect's the same thing over and over and over." Not really, You're fighting a different threat, and they didn't drag it out as long. They haven't dragged it out through 6 games. You know what I mean? I felt like Mass Effect did its 3, did it good. I never felt like it got old. You know what I mean? Assassin's Creed, you're rebelling in the first one. The second one, you're rebelling in the second one. Guess what? In the third one, hey, guess what you're fucking doing again? You're rebelling. Hey, guess what you're doing in the next one? You're going to rebel. Hey, guess fucking what? Assassin's Creed 3, you're rebelling again. And this isn't even actually Assassin's Creed 3. It's Assassin's Creed 5. We tricked your ass.
Yeah.
It's always the same theme, It's not that's my one big issue with it. Is it's always the same theme.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, I hope they changed up now that Desmond isn't going on. I felt like they dragged Desmond's story out way too long.
Way too long.
And they never really gave enough Desmond. Desmond should have just had a whole game to himself. No other assassin.
Yeah, and I mean, and three was the only really one that he actually got out more. And then you guys oh, well, now that we're gonna let him out, he's done. We're done with him. No more.
I felt like
really,
that was a wasted
he just got out. He just got out into the world. No more.
Yeah, I thought it was dumb. But
yeah.
I mean, it's a good series, but it's hurting itself now over time. It's definitely Ubisoft is hurting itself with that series, and it's now it's oh, well, Desmond's done. They're really for the next character, they're really gonna have to bring they're really gonna have to make it really good for me to want to come back to that series. I feel like I'm done with it. Personally, there's games like that, BioShock. I never got the second one. I never got it. I felt like the first one did it enough for me. I didn't need the prequel to explain how the fuck I didn't need the prequel. I didn't. BioShock 2 did not draw me in because it wasn't enough different, and it felt like it added nothing to the game. BioShock Infinite draws me in. It's completely different. You know what I mean? It's different. I'm gonna get it because I want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it
looks better. It's cooler.
You either make in Dead Space. I haven't, I guess, played all the way through number 1, so I don't know what I want more of yet. I can definitely tell you that the game I definitely do want to play 2. Only playing a couple hours into the game. I definitely want to play 2 so far. Still, I feel like I don't have enough of this. Especially story-wise, there's so many mysteries. But I don't know by the end of 1 how many of those mysteries are going to be solved. I hope not too many.
I don't know, when I finished Dead Space 1, I had already got Dead Space 2. I had purchased it, ready to go. So, I mean, I popped it in, and the instant I popped it in, I was actually really happy I got Dead Space 2. I was happy I can continue the story from where I left off. Because, I mean, the end you leave off is you get off of the ship that you're on, obviously.
Don't tell me anything.
No, because you already know that you're on a new ship. You already know this.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So I mean, so like, I'm not telling
I
you like,
obviously
what's
knew
happening. I'm
you
just
got
saying.
off that ship. Like that's because there's a
I know,
third
I'm
game.
just saying. I'm
Obviously,
just saying that
Isaac
like.
lives.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, because there's 3. So I mean, because like, so Dead Space 1, I mean, you get off the ship, and then like a certain thing happens, like in like the ending, kind of towards the end. It doesn't like lead you into, oh, there's gonna be like a Dead Space 2. Like I mean, like if I had played the Dead Space 1 when it came out, I like the ending of it. I would have never really thought that there was gonna be Dead Space 2 like coming out. That's kind of how it leads it in a way. But when I put in Dead Space 2, I was like, I'm actually really happy I got this because like it works out well. I mean, like they did a damn good job kind of tying it together, I thought. And I was like, I'm glad I got this. Like it didn't give me enough in Dead Space 1. Like
Well,
I wanted more like on my toes, like right on the edge of the seat, ready to like just be like jump at a corner.
Yeah. And it's never a problem when a game gives you enough in the first game. You know what I mean? That is never a problem with me. If you answer all my questions in the first game, I don't get pissed. You know what I mean? I don't feel like, you don't have to drag me on to 3 games. Only drag me on to so many games if that is what is required for the story. You know what I mean? So I don't get upset. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I want more content, but being, oh, well, more content is a bad thing. I'm not trying to do that. I just want the story for however long it takes to, fill out is however long, it needs. Don't try to take a story and drag it out through 7 games when it should only be maybe 1-2 games. Assassin's Creed should have only been 1-2-3, maybe at most. You know what I mean? I did not need Ezio 3 times. I did not need. I really like. One was just repetitive because of that type of game. 2 got better. If they would have just combined 2 through all the Assassin's Creeds with Ezio into one game, that series would have felt perfect. They just dragged it out too long. And that's what I feel like there's an art to making a series. There's an art that usually after 3, that series gets old. If you think about it. All good series usually, short of books, there's a lot of good books out there. Actually, Game of Thrones books, 4 and 5 are the worst of the series. So usually 3 is a good spot to end it. 3 is always a good number.
If you take it, that's kind of what they did for Halo, was they went 1, 2, 3, and then, and they ended, that type of story, and they go, okay, well, here's Halo Reach. It just, if you want to know, all about a thing, then they brought Halo Reach out, which I think was cool. I kind of thought it was cool, learning about the Covenant Wars and, learning about all the Covenant stuff and having that come out. But then, they brought Halo 4, but Halo 4 is a whole new storyline. It doesn't have anything to do with the past Halos, which is what I liked about it. That's why I like when they brought Halo 4 out, that they didn't just, go off, oh, by the way, there's another Halo ring. No, they started, a whole new, storyline to it, which is nice. That's what it's, if games are going to do, say, Assassin's Creed, Assassin's, they really can't with Assassin's Creed so much, but if they want to do it, then they would have to make, a whole new storyline. And obviously, it's kind of hard with Assassin's Creed of how they're doing this, how they've done it so far. So, 1, 2, and 3, obviously, they couldn't compact that all together, but if they would have had to, bring another Assassin's Creed game, then they couldn't, make a whole new storyline out of it, which is understandable. And I understand that they should have just stopped where they were instead of, doing it how they are. But Halo, the people Halo, and then when 343 took over Halo, from Bungie, they did a nice job of, well, let's make a whole new storyline for Master Chief, which was nice.
And that one, they're doing exactly what I hope Mass Effect is going to do. They're not just exploring one storyline, which is what Assassin's Creed did for 5 games. Explored one storyline.
And there's more coming out.
That's too long. That's way too many hours into one storyline. What they're doing in Halo is they're exploring a universe and explaining it to you. They're explaining a war. That's much more. There's multiple storylines in a war, in different wars, than there is in one. You know what I mean? In Assassin's Creed 3, you're following one character. You're not following a war. You're not playing both sides. You're not playing the Templars. You're not. You know what I mean? And I guess you're in Halo. You did play kind of at the. You played Covenant at a point. Yeah,
a little bit, not much.
You didn't actually play the whole side of Covenant, but. Yeah.
But you still understand, you still understand what's going on and all of that. And then when they and they explained it, that's the biggest thing, is that they explained the Covenant side a lot to you though.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
they definitely explain both sides, even though you're like mainly playing like just the one side or like the UNSC side. They
yeah,
still explain both sides well enough that you're like, okay, I under like that, like this is good. This I can follow this. This does well. And same with like the new Halo. I mean, even though you're only following Master Chief, they still explain a lot of like why the Covenant was there, what they were doing. I mean, they still explain that in the new storyline, which is really nice. Like it's nice when games do that. Like when like even if you're just following one thing, they're still explaining. Like I mean, like Mass Effect. Mass Effect still like had all that Prothean things in the back, and then you'd like uncover like about the Reapers, and they'd still talk about the Reapers and why the Reapers were doing this. Like it still gave you like their side of what was going on, even though you were only playing just Shepard. Like you still knew all like both sides of the story and what was going on for it.
Yeah, basically, handling series takes careful a careful way to do it. You know what I mean? You can't overstay. You can't overstay your welcome. And
Definitely.
Some series do, some series don't. Some series hit it perfect. Some series actually go too short. You know what I mean? They put all the story into one game when you're like, wow, that was way too much story and not enough of, certain other features. You're just like, man, what the fuck? Like I felt like that wow, thanks for finishing the story for me. But you totally could have made that better by drawing that out just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you take this, I mean, like when like, I'm not gonna like kind of like tell you everything, but when Dead Space 2 comes out, like about it, like I mean, it takes a bit after Dead Space 1, but it kind of still talks about like about the marker and like why the marker was like doing all this and like how it came to be and all that stuff. Like it explains to you. And I know you're not there yet, so I'm not gonna like say anything.
Well, I know
like
I know what the marker kind of is. You know what I mean? I don't know really a whole lot about it, but I do know.
Right.
I know that I know what I know what you're saying when you say the marker.
Yeah, I know, but you don't know like how the marker was made. I'm saying.
Oh no, I don't know any of that.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so it's gonna blow your mind when you find like not like really blow your mind, but when you get it, you're gonna be like, well, fuck, like go figures, or of course. But at the same point in time, it's like okay, it's like yeah, I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But like so Dead Space 2, even though it's going like after Dead Space 1, like I mean it's like continuing a couple years afterwards, it still kind of like talks about like kind of goes into the back, kind of like I mean in like stories and stuff when you're playing the game, it tells you like it kind of still says like well this is how it's made. And it's like I mean, and the marker has like a religious cult with it and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it keeps you interested enough and keeps you going that you definitely need more than one game to explain all this. Mm-hmm. But hopefully they don't take it like Assassin's Creed and to expand it out. And so far they haven't been. I mean, playing this like they've kept it like pretty much like pretty compact and small enough that you know you're going to need more than one game, but you know that they're doing it so that they can't make a ginormous shit ton of games out.
And the thing is, you're getting your money worth.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, from how it's going so far, I mean, Game 3 could be the ending of the series, and that would and how they've gone so far, it would make sense to finish it off in Game 3 or even Game 4 maybe. I mean, but definitely don't get past 4 games of this.
Yeah. All right, so let's back to what the original stuff was talking about. We had got on the best series and just fucking tangent it off for 20 minutes. So back to what the original Game Awards. Let's just before I don't know. I can't think of any others. Just go Game of the Year, whatever you want to give it to, and just
Game of the Year.
Oh, actually, wait. Before that, biggest surprise of the year. Before Game of the Year, biggest surprise of the year.
Biggest surprise of the year?
Yeah.
I was surprised in like you're meaning game like complete game wise or like in that game, like the biggest surprise in that game, or do you mean like the biggest surprise of the game that came out that surprised you?
Biggest surprise, like biggest game that you didn't have a whole lot of hype or didn't think was gonna be really well and then was fucking awesome.
Honestly, I think Far Cry 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean obviously there was quite a bit of hype of Far Cry 3, but I never played Far Cry 1 and 2 because I never heard anything about them. Like I never heard anything about Far Cry 1 or 2. Very, very barely did I hear. Well, I never heard about Far Cry 1, and I heard very little about Far Cry 2, so it never got me interested. And Far Cry 3 came out, and obviously, I was like, okay, I'm bored, whatever, like, let's get something new. And I really wanted an open world game, but I was tired of playing Skyrim, so like, okay, Skyrim with guns. And then I started hearing a couple of good things about it. Like, people started saying good things, so I purchased it, I started playing it, I thought it was fucking awesome. Like, I mean, good game. I was honestly surprised by Far Cry 3 and like what was going on about it, like how it was going. I mean, I liked it a lot, and I was actually surprised at how amazed I was with it. I mean, like right behind that, I mean, I was surprised with Halo 4. I mean, 343 came up and they're like, we're going to take this game. And I mean, a lot of people were very like kind of iffy about it. I mean, like usually when you hear about a company taking a video game over, you get kind of iffy because I mean,